Okay, attention. Attention to what? We've already talked about in our battle plan, spying the real enemy, tapping on the why. And now that your child has this reason to push forward, what do you do next? This is where you take a page out of the lesson book or the battle plan of something like basic training in the military. When you go to basic training, that whole chunk of time is devoted to the basics. Oh, they are running. They are getting up when it's time to get up. They are going to bed when it's time to go to bed. They are eating when it's time to eat. They are cleaning the way that they need to clean. And they are running, and they are running, and they are running, and doing push-ups, and focusing on the basics. Now that you've identified the why behind what it is that is causing them to stutter, sputter, or get confused and overwhelmed, you need to identify what the basics are. What skills do they need in order to press through this place of confusion, this place of frustration? And I can tell you that a lot of times it has to do with vocabulary. Do they understand the vocabulary of the math that they're doing right now? Do they understand the vocabulary of the science that they're struggling with right at the moment? Start with the vocabulary, use the real words, use the actual vocabulary words, and make sure they know them inside and out. And take the time to practice them with games and flashcards and all those things. Understanding the basic vocabulary unlocks the lessons in a great way. It's really hard to find the product of two factors if you don't know what a product is and you don't know what a factor is. But the second you know that the product is the answer and the factors are the two numbers that you multiply together, you go, oh, this times this is that. It's the equal to. So you want to make sure that the vocabulary isn't locked away in a safe somewhere. So unlock the vocabulary and then look at the basic skills. Sometimes they're struggling with a concept because they didn't really master the concepts before. And it's okay, especially in math, it's okay to go back and to gird up the foundations. With our son who is working through some calculus challenges right now, we have him working with videos and tutors and professors to find the holes that he skipped over and fill them with the pieces of information that are missing so that he can then comprehend the material where he's supposed to be right this moment and then be prepared to move on. So after you've identified the real enemy of confusion and overwhelm and you've tapped on the why, focus on the basics, vocabulary, basic skills, fundamentals, because a lot of times when kids are little, it's easy to use just simple language to explain something to a child. And it's all fine and fun because they understand it and you understand it. But when you start to get into middle school, sometimes before, but usually it's right around middle school, and you turn the page to do a new math concept or to approach a new thing in science, suddenly you don't get it when you're glancing at it. And not only do you not get it, but your child doesn't understand the real words, the vocabulary of whatever that is, the math or the science or whatever, but you don't remember them potentially because you've just been talking about it from this place of total comprehension. Oh, I understand 3 + 2 is 5. You haven't spent any thought thinking about that those are add-ins and that's a sum, because it's simple and it comes easily to you. But when you stumble into a math lesson or a science lesson where you don't quite remember how these things work, you'll figure it out very quickly, but you don't remember it and you didn't master the vocabulary yourself. Now you're battling with your student, with your child, because you're trying to get them to understand a concept, but you both don't speak the language. So make sure that you fine tune the language, focus in on the basics. Look for, did we miss something? Did we miss something last week? Did we miss something last year? And it's worth stopping and then filling in the basics so that you can move forward with confidence.